Hi everyone, my name is Elliot. I'm the co-founder of Mnemonic AI, where we create psychographic buyer personas with artificial intelligence. This is the third video about persona myths, and I want to tell you just a little more about what is important and what you should focus on and what pitfalls there are when it comes to persona creation. The use of them is extremely powerful, but when you want to create them, depending on what organizations you're in, what kind of data you're dealing with, it sometimes can become very frustrating and overwhelming. I hope with the tips I'm giving you and about the myths I'm highlighting here, it will just help you to not lose track when you create personas and stay motivated. So let's start. Let us continue with myth number 11. The more personas you can create, the better. This is also not correct. Once you gathered all the different data sets you need, once you figured out a way how to analyze them and extract the information and insights required for persona creation, the challenge is now to figure out which insights belong in which bucket. One bucket is one persona. Don't make the mistake and try to create 20 personas for a single product. This will become very overwhelming for you, the one who creates the personas, but also for those who have to execute them. On the same time, don't try to force customer clusters into one bucket just because of convenience. Simple example, an online store that sells pants and at the same time beds, you cannot force those into the same bucket. Remember, the biggest advantage of personas is to highlight the pain points, needs, fears, emotions towards a product. And by doing that, you will confuse those who have to execute the personas. Summing up, the ideal number of personas is very hard to generalize. It really depends on what kind of product or brand you have or service, and also how homogeneous your customer group is. From our end, we see a span between 4 and 8 personas, which is also a good amount for those who have to execute them and really build the personalized strategy around them that is required to say, I am a customer-centric organization. Myth number 12, each persona stands for an individual. Not correct. A persona stands for a homogeneous customer segment. This means it represents those that have similar demographics, similar needs, similar emotions, but not on an individual basis. I'll give you an example. Some of our profiles, for instance, state that this particular persona is a big fan of the New England Patriots. This does not mean that every single customer that is represented by that persona is a New England Patriot fan. However, there is a big cluster, or the biggest cluster, that says those are fans of the New England Patriots. But they might be fans for a different team. But especially football is represented within that segment pretty dominant. Myth number 13, personas remain the same within the customer journey. Creating a few generic personas and believing that those are sufficient to optimize the customer journey for your customer base is not correct. If you want to optimize the customer journey, you need to create personas for the individual steps, so-called customer journey specific personas. Because needs, emotions, information required, they change during their journey, and the personas should reflect those information, particularly relevant for the individual step. Of course, it can be very overwhelming to create 4, 5, 6 personas for every single step. So pick one step that you think needs the most attention and create personas for that particular step. Myth number 14, personas are only good for B2C. We cannot disagree more. We believe that personas are equally as important for B2C as B2B, if not more. Why? Because every purchase is not only made for rational reasons, but also their emotions and the personal experience play a tremendous role. 68% of B2B buyers would pay a premium for a personalized experience. This is why it is so important to also focus on their emotions, their needs, and really try to build a personalized experience within their purchase process. So thank you very much for watching. This is the third video on persona myths. If you haven't seen the other two, feel free to have a look at them. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or write your questions down in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.